Alright, we're going to be watching Tolini, who is playing Kiriko with a little bit of Bap on Junkertown. This is Diamond 4. I don't know if this is PC or console. To give some optional context, I've started maining support since the launch of Overwatch 2. I've been having a ton of fun. Last season I didn't play much at all, but season 3 I came back to grind a bit, hopefully improve. While playing, I feel like I'm doing a lot. I usually keep healing up every other support in the lobby, while still putting out some damage and really getting picked off. Still, I've been losing streaks quite often, and it's been really bothering me. I could point out crucial mistakes my teammates made most of these losses, but I'm a strong believer of the "you are the only constant in your games" thing. And I know if I was actually playing as good as I think I am, I would climb. So I'd like some second opinions on what I'm doing wrong. Oh, on what I've been doing. I haven't been playing. Sorry, I'm sick, so it's kind of got some brain fog going on here. Now, for the game, it was pretty messy for both sides, which is why I chose it for the review. I feel like in these kinds of games, a player who's at a higher level than everyone else can completely tip the odds in their team's favor, which I wasn't able to do. So what I'm mostly interested in is what I did that reduced my chance of winning, like bad positioning, ability usage, decision making, etc., and what I could have done to actually give my team more of a fighting chance. Okay, so I think you have the right attitude. Obviously, you're the only constant in all of your games, etc., etc. There's always, pretty much always a way to tip things. So let's just kind of get started. Just noting your lineup right here. You're running with Anna and Ryan, so it's Brawl. Pretty unusual for Junkertown. This is low diamond, so this is like starting on the point where people I think would think about that a lot more. But Ryan just got buffed, so who knows? I haven't really been playing very much, so it's possible Ryan's actually quite good now, even into this situation where I don't think Ryan would be particularly good. I would expect your Anna to be pocketing your Ryan. You should be pocketing your DPS. You also have a good chance here to do off-angle damage. I can already tell from the fact that you go out the right door that you're not planning on sticking with your team as much, and you're planning on trying to go for damage, which is fine if you can pull it off. If you don't, then you end up throwing, and that's my guess is probably where your problems come from. So your Ryan does this crazy rollout. Really interesting. I've never seen this before, but he's able to immediately start pressuring their high ground, which is cool. Your aim already, I can tell, is off, right? Your crosshair placement is wrong. You threw that first kunai. It's way too low. Get a good headshot there, right? Good accuracy overall. So definitely follow your Ryan in. You're way too far back. So based on this situation, like there's no reason for you to be moving backwards, Like after you were high ground up here, you drop. At this point, you're fully healed. Start walking back up. There's no reason to be playing back here on the card. You have to walk up right now. Because remember, if you're trying to heal your Ryan in this situation, your Fudas will take forever to reach your Ryan. Like your Ryan will be long dead before you can do anything about it. You already have a good advantage right now. You want to keep the momentum up, so step forward right now aggressively. See how you're not stepping forward? Some of your Fudas even hit the cart. Really important to step forward aggressively. Once I see Ryan drop to half, I immediately swift step and start healing him. Because if the Ryan dies, this whole push is over anyway. And yes, swift stepping without Suzu is dangerous, but not so dangerous because I can tell their whole team is collapsed in on the Ryan. So I'm hoping I swift step, I immediately heal while stepping backwards. Does that make sense? Like swift step on top, immediately start healing and turn the corner if I need to stay alive. Because again, if Ryan dies, this push is over. You do not want this push to end. Ryan gets very, very low. Reasonable weaving here. I think the accuracy leaves something to be desired, but reasonable weaving. That was a very bad swift step. I can tell from the angle. So Ryan's out. So you're gonna show up basically where you aim next to the Ryan. Because you're looking to the left, you show up to the left, which is outside of the doorway. If you're gonna do this, you should aim to the right of the Ryan to swift step over here at a minimum. Either way, I don't think I would have swift stepped regardless because your Ryan's not urgently in need of help. And I don't know exactly, like obviously in replay we can see what the lineup is, like what's going on out there. But in game, you can only see your Ryan, so you don't know exactly what's happening here. So I would not swift step right away. I probably would just walked in, right? Walked in here and kept going, and then I could Suzu very quickly if I need to, and then come out here. I think this is rushing it, and you could get punished and die for this. Yeah, see? You get so close to dying. Like you dropped all the way down to 15. There's no way you knew you were going to die there. If you die there, big mistake. Right? Again, this fight's basically won if you just stay alive. It's already 5 on 3. Good kill. Right, you're just in cleanup mode. I think being aggressive now is fine. You have swift step if you need to get out, and Suzu's almost up. So I think you kind of make two mistakes here. Like either decide to peek, right? And be the like kind of leading edge of trying to get picks here, or decide to support people who are trying to get picks. But you could have been leading edge here, which frankly is perfectly safe because you're full health right now. You have cover. Even if you die, the point's going to cap, and you're going to get forward, well, hopefully forward spawn. Actually, I guess if you die instantly, you're not going to get forward spawn. But if you survive for at least a few seconds, you get forward spawn. You got Suzu coming up in a couple seconds. There's no reason to not step up. Like, you don't need to walk out the doorway, but at least out to damn, it's like so annoying sometimes to go a little small distance. So at least out to like here, right, is perfectly safe, and you could play out here, right? Jiggle peek, you get chances to shoot the Mercy, shoot the Cassidy, whatever, right? Farm ult charge, whatever you want to do, it's fine. But you decide not to do that, which is okay. If you don't want to do that, I mean, maximal value I think is the peak here, but if you don't want to peek, that's fine. Then your Hanzo goes past you, and the second I see this, I play the Hanzo, because Ryan's not going to die here. Ryan's full health, and he's a tank. There's no way that Ryan is going to die in the situation. I stay on the Hanzo, because the Hanzo could potentially die here. You leave the Hanzo going to your Ryan, which doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to be playing over here right now, right? You should just play with Hanzo. So Hanzo gets jumped. You're kind of like too slow. You should have heard the shooting right there. It's hard. You like can't hear the replay because my sound's turned down low. But you should have heard that shot. Turn and be like, oh shoot. And then now you realize your Hanzo's super low. You should have done Swift Step Suzu right away. Right? You're way too slow to react. You decide to throw heal. Like, see, you hesitate. That's the time to just throw Suzu, right? You're not going to need Suzu for the next 11 seconds. I guarantee it. That's a silly mistake. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this triggers a whole chain of errors, right? So Hanzo dies here, and you waste Suzu. So it's a worst case scenario, right? It's like when Zen pops trance after your team dies. You compounded the problem. You both didn't save your team, and you wasted ultimate. So now you don't have Suzu, which they're going to know, and you've lost your Hanzo. Then you Swift out right away, which is a mistake because your Ryan is in, and you know your Ryan is in, just like from your gameplay sense, because you just saw your Ryan, right? Hanzo's dead here. You know the Ryan hasn't walked by you to go back. It's not like the Ryan's going to walk this way and go back to point. So this is very silly to Swift step out. You should have come out here and kept healing your Ryan and forced the Junker Queen to pursue. Okay? Then, as the Junker Queen wraps around you, play behind with the Ryan, who's probably going to push the Cassidy, right? Play with the Ryan as long as you can, and then Swift step back out the cart when you absolutely need to. That's the optimal play here. Well, saving your Hanzo is number one. But abandoning your Ryan is going to make this really, really bad. Okay, at this point, now that you Swift stepped out, let's assume you made the errors that you have, okay? You Swift step out, stay on the cart. Because there's a possibility that we will get this cart and cap. And there's nothing you can do now anyway. You know what I mean? You're never going to get LOS of this Ryan without Swift Step regardless. So you might as well stay at the cart. Stepping forward now, like if I'm the Junker Queen, I am not going to be deterred by Kiriko standing here, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't push this because Kiriko's stopping me. Like, might as well just play the cart. Try to move the cart as fast as possible, right? Now she comes out. So this is another great example of I think game sense is very, very important. First of all, as I feel the Junker Queen is coming, right, I look to the right and see, hey, remember that Hanzo who died? How soon is that spawn? In game, this would be easier for me than it is in a replay, because in the game, I would know how many seconds it's been. Because in the replay, I keep pausing. I have to like think about it and like look at the actual situation. But in the game, I played this live. I'd be like, okay, the Hanzo's not even respawned yet. I would hit tab. There's no way. This is now a 3-on whatever. I would assume we're going to lose this fight. I do not want to draw this fight on longer. I want to either conclusively, like we have, oh, no, a 15% chance of winning this fight. I want to just take the 15% right away and end it in like 5 seconds. I don't want to like have a long running dragged out fight where I stay alive for a while, but then potentially get staggered. Does that make sense? Hopefully by the time you die, like you see what I mean here, and I don't need to explain it, like the concept any further. You see how you play out? Now it's really hard for you to help the soldier, right? Because again, your healing takes longer to get to her. Team's getting walked over. Now you're in trouble. Most important thing is not to stagger here. And you managed to barely get out. Is that risk worth it? I don't think so. Right? I think you just play on cart and die with everyone else. Also, you playing back gives you almost no chance of winning the fight. Right? If you play all 3 on the cart, it's possible you could burst somebody down from a headshot, plus them. Okay, so Ryan goes in. So you have an off-angle problem here. I think this is a perfectly fine fight to take. I don't think you could realistically have not done this. I think it would have been a mistake to drop and keep healing your Hanzo. I think this is the right call that you made here to just fight this Ash. I think your accuracy is off. I think it's not headshot quite level quite right? I think you're trying to adapt to her crouch spam, which I think is a mistake. I think just keep throwing him at head level. But at a certain point, like, you already saw the Rhino was getting below half because you saw critical. You should have started peeking to get a heal in and a weave, right? So now you should be weaving, right? You're a little slow on this. So, again, you're playing super far away. I know it's scary, but, like, realistically, like, the Ashe is probably... Is she actually shooting at you? She's shooting at you, she's missing all her shots anyway. So, like, the Ashe has missed a ton of shots at you. Yeah, she's shooting at the Rhine. She's missed a lot of shots here. So I think you have to step forward. If I were you, I would step forward up to here, right? And heal and Suzu, and then switch step back if I absolutely have to. But if I die with my Rhine, it's okay, because again, I'll be spawned at the same time as my Rhine. Like, your life is not worth that much if your tank dies. That's a really important concept to recognize. If your tank dies, the vast majority of the time the fight's over. Unless you've traded tanks, for example. Or your team has some sort of, like, wipe ultimate that's about to happen. So it's okay if I die when my tank dies, you know? If I do, I'd rather spend everything I can to try to keep the tank alive. Because no matter what, this is going to end up being a stagger situation waiting for the Rhine to come back. I would step forward right now. Right? Because ultimately, I want to get a little closer. I know it's safer back here, but like, my soldier's already at the point of attack. Like, they're probably attacking my soldier. I get an opportunity to heal and potentially get headshots here on the Cassidy. So, you're slow to react to this. As soon as you see the dynamite in the air, start pre-healing your soldier. Right? Right there, I should already be looking at the soldier and healing her. I guess you do, like, about the right time, but you don't follow it down, which I think is a mistake. Because, again, I expect the Ashe or whomever to keep targeting whoever's dynamited. So after you finish his heal, I would have stepped up to the corner because you see the soldier is dropping, and then healed, or as soon as I saw her take more damage, right there, I throw Suzu. I think she's gonna die here. Oh, very lucky. Yeah, I mean, you could, like, she doesn't actually die, but I think you could have played a little more optimally. I think you should be thinking about trying to move with your Hanzo and taking the off angle. You're in a spot getting Rhine, doing a fine job. I think I would even consider swift stepping here to the Hanzo to speed this up. But now I wouldn't. But previously, I think it was okay. So this is an interesting call. Nano's been popped, Shatter's been popped, and you pop Rush. I don't think this is the right call. I understand the idea here is you're popping Rush to make sure that your Nano Ryan kills everybody. But I would kind of hope that with these two ultimates popped, that we're going to win. On the other hand, they haven't popped anything. It's not a bad call. I think it's a 50-50 call. I mean, I think that it's actually safer to pop, so probably it's the right call to use here. I just want you to think about it, at least, that you might not have needed it. Yeah, see. If you waited another second, your Ryan would have gotten 2 kills. And then you would have been like, I definitely don't need to pop it now. Even with their ultimates, like, nothing's going to change about this fight. So, I take it back. I think the right call was, obviously I got to see the result, but my instinct was, I don't think I would have popped there. Because I would have already been like, I want to at least see my Ryan swing and confirm, like, if he gets close enough to kill the backline, even one of the backline, I would assume we're going to win this fight already. Like, we're all full health, you know? It's unlikely they can turn that so easily. So just imagine that you have Kitsune Rush here. If you have Kitsune Rush here, I want to pop it as soon as possible. Because I recognize that they have a ton of ultis. Because I didn't really see anything there except for Valk. So you should recognize, hey, they have all their ultis. I want to pop my Kitsune to force their ultis out. And then farm another Kitsune before the end of second point. Unless they pop them, if they pop them all at once, I definitely see. But other than that, I want to try to get it out early. If I can pop it before they do, great. And force that early ults for them. Okay, Ryan's in. Again, I think it's really important that when your Ryan goes in, you have to immediately peek and start pre-healing. It's so important as a tank, like, especially as Ryan. Like, your Ryan's, I think, playing reasonably well here, right? He's trying to play super, super aggressive. You gotta be giving him the pre-healing, like, as much as you possibly can. Don't lose line of sight. You're playing too far back. Like here, I think you have to step forward and, like, kind of zigzag up the side. Right? I think you could also potentially play on top of cart and use the cart as, like, partial cover to get the heals in. And I think you should be attacking the Ashe here. The Ashe is problem number 1 for your team right now. Okay. So this all happens pretty fast. You see the Hanzo eat that shot, I would immediately Suzu'd him. I know the tank's like super low, but I would expect the Hanzo to die instantly. And it's really your Ana's job to keep the Rhine up. And thus your Hanzo dies. Like as soon as somebody hits the headshot, I know that the Hanzo just eating an Ashe headshot, right? So as soon as that he hits the headshot, I assume the Ashe is looking for the follow-up shot, which could even come as quickly as instantly if she does an unscoped one. So you should have Suzu'd him and saved him. So that's the second time you should have saved your Hanzo. So I see this happen. I swift step to the Rhine and help kill the Junker Queen. Because she has a lot of health, right? And she's pretty mobile. I don't want her to get out of this situation. I definitely don't want to kill her with my Ana. And there's not a lot you can do from this position. I go here and help kill the Junker Queen. Yeah, see? Like, you're like too far back to be able to react to this. I think if you were playing in there on the Junker Queen, there's a lot more that you can do to burn her down faster. Like, potentially, like, body blocker for giving me Ana, right? There's options there. Like, yes, you could also have died, but I think the optimal play is still to go. And, like, yep. Right? Yeah, that's all you can do about that. You did the best you could, and then you're gonna die. Oh, or you lived. Great. Renzo cart. This is you try to heal. Nothing you can do here. Yeah, just spam. Try to farm another rush. Overall, I'd say this game looks pretty clean from both sides. Like, I'm not seeing any obvious mistakes. That's a mistake. I just cursed this. I was like, wait, nope, that's a mistake. So, if I do see this happen, as soon as I see him pop yellow like that, I swift step and Suzu him. Because I can already tell this is a mistake, you know? There's no way. I think the Rhine doesn't realize that people are playing up here. There's no way that this is actually the right call. So I would have swift stepped and Suzu. Even though that's incredibly dangerous for me. Again, if your tank dies, the fight's over regardless. So, like, you might as well go up and save him and then die with the tank, you know? Oh. Mostly just spam right now. I don't know if that's Suzu. I guess she's critical, but I think I would have felt like she would be fine. Wait, I'm confused. How did she get stunned here? She gets slept? Is that what happened? Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so the moment I hear that sleep, I pop Kitsune. Okay? Because the three of us with Kitsune kill this Junker Queen. You know? Like, she's clearly played way the heck up. Even with Hanzo, I think I pop Kitsune here, and then we just run over the Junker Queen and kill her. Because I think I've seen her use basically all of her abilities. Yeah, everything's on cooldown right now. Pop Kitsune and just kill her. Especially if your Ana's going to have grenade in 4 seconds. Yeah. I think this is a lost opportunity to kill her with Kitsune. See how low she gets? Kitsune 100% would have killed her. I think that's a tough read, but it's a read that I made. It's not necessarily a read that you could make, but it's a read that I made in the moment. Okay, Kitsune's up. It's weird that you used Kitsune but then didn't follow it. Yeah, I don't really know why you're going back to the left. Why don't you just follow to the right? You know, kill this Kiriko. What are you doing? So High Noon's popped. Where is it? Oh yeah. So you would have heard. You would have heard it. You would have looked around and be like, okay, he's clearly not here. He's got to be like way the heck in the back. So you should feel totally safe to just stay high ground. Yeah, don't panic here. No. So I think you miss these heals, right? You see you missed 4 heals right there. And then these heals are all off target. It would have been hard to save her in that situation. I think arguably actually mathematically impossible unless you had timed it correctly. But I would note that your healing at close range and tight situations is not like as good as it should be for Diamond. Like at Diamond, you really shouldn't be missing heals like pretty much ever. Like you should be 80 to 90% accuracy on healing. Oh, that was a good pull. Yeah, like you could try to kill the Bob, but it's like gonna fade in time. So I think that's agree with that decision. Just do nothing there. Okay, that was interesting, Suzu, to prevent yourself from getting cleaved, but ultimately you end up dying. Unfortunate. I think so. Definitely. I wouldn't say it's strictly a tank problem. I think it's like a whole team problem. Is that you're having a lot of trouble getting through the choke. The enemy team is doing a good job. You're not really well coordinated. But the biggest thing is that you're not getting enough value out of your ultimate. Right? Again, if you use Kitsune here to kill the tank, I think the whole fight's different. Also, if you hadn't made the mistakes like down below, as we previously mentioned, that would also be very different. But now, when you actually did pop Kitsune, when your soldier used overclock, remember that? Don't mind me, I'm just dying over here. So right there, it's like you don't get any value out of this ultimate. Like the soldier gets some kills, but she's like the only one, and she dropped off it right away. Like I don't know that the Kitsune helped her all that much at all. And then your team just killed 2, right? She killed soldier and kills 2. Yeah, I see how low. Oh yeah, she dies. Yeah. So there's 2 dead right now. They res 1, so it should be a 5-on-4. You have 1 coming back, so it's 4-on-4 right now. And you're just like not in a good position to do anything, right? Because you're like very passive angle. You should have been helping to kill the Mercy or like anything else. You get like way too nervous about the high noon, and then you lose the opportunity to kill the Mercy. If you kill the Mercy, the fight's over. And then the soldier dies in front of you. Yeah. So like not like obvious blunders, but definitely like inefficiencies are going on here. Okay, this is the Bob. So we reset again. Again, tough situations like this, it's often results in either the enemy team has to make a mistake, or I have to get really good value out of an ultimate to get through a choke. Alright, use that to stop cleave. I don't necessarily know that I need to drop there. Right? You haven't taken any hits yet. She doesn't have cleave. I would have probably, at a minimum, dropped out and then climbed right back up, you know, versus like leaving right away. So your team has gone Brawly to help deal with the Junker Queen, which is probably a good call. She's really doing a good job keeping your team back. Really good Junker Queen, actually. One of the best ones I've seen recently. So again, I feel like really far back. Like I really want to step forward here, especially with Dragon going off, because now they're trapped. I want to help try to get a kill here. You know, I think that's very important right now. So Queen pops ulti. I think you make a mistake here popping it too early. Yeah, I think I would have waited to see who gets hit by it, because it gets 0 impact damage. That's really important to recognize. So I want to give it some time to recognize like who does it actually get hit, and can I cleanse more. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you cleanse 2 from it, but recognizing where she ends up, the correct call would have been to actually Suzu Urano. I don't know if I necessarily would have made that read real time, but the right play here, I'm pretty sure, is actually the Suzu Urana. Especially to prevent cleave here. Right? And once this happens, you're walking back, but you should actually be walking forward. Like this is like a big brain play, but the closer you are, the more likely you are to get headshots, right? I think we can all agree on that. So by moving away here, it makes it harder for you to get headshots. But the thing is, I know that I am unlikely to be the target here because my Ana's already been purpled. So, and I also don't have purple. So the Ana can heal me through damage as well. I would rather step up here and have the Junker Queen attack me, and I swift step out or something to confuse her and buy some more time. That's actually the best possible play. You're playing super defensively here and just letting your Ana theoretically die if the Junker Queen realizes what the heck's going on. But I think I want to step forward both to do more damage and to bait her into attacking me. See, and then when she is going, like, you can't heal your Ana for quite a while, so stop trying to heal, right? Be attacking. You should be attacking this whole time. Like, there's just now that her purple cleanse. There's no reason to have been attacking. And again, if you're closer, it's possible you could have maintained this angle or pulled the Junker Queen away. Now your Ana's gonna die. Good news is the rest of the team did work. So you should recognize you're pulled. Yeah. Make sure you don't get pulled into a cleave. Yep. Easy kill. Great. His team finally gets to the choke. There's a lot of game left. So I think it's really important to take that early space. It's a Tracer though, which is kind of tricky. Yeah, just heal your Reaper. I think this is a really good example where like you attack and then let's watch this heal. Okay? So 2, 4. Like you only hit 4 out of 10 on the Reaper while he's in critical health. Like this can't happen. Right? This is all good. But something to definitely think about is making sure you land those heals. Good headshot. Yeah, melee. I don't think I throw that Suzu. Like he's too far away, and I would expect. I've not seen him wraith, so I expect him to wraith right here. And it's like I'm far enough away that I don't trust that Suzu would get there in time regardless. So I would trust that he's gonna wraith. It's like tough because it's usually a good call to do it. This is a terrible Kitsune rush. Like you've already seen the fact that you've killed 2, right? Like you killed the Tracer yourself. You just saw that the Cassidy died. Like let's watch the kill feed. You know, you're walking up. You have all 4 here, right? With your Ana coming up, and you can hear the Ana shooting, so you know you have 5. You go up here. You're gonna kill the Tracer, which is a good play. All right, so it should be 5 on 4, and they have to walk out through a choke. They kill your Cassidy, so it's 4 on 4. Right? Now it's 4 on 3, and the Junker Queen's already purple. I do not throw Kitsune here. I do walk up forwards. Again, I think you're playing too far back to be able to do anything. Like you're not gonna hit headshots this far away. You know what I mean? Like this is way too far away. Plus the card for cover. Plus he's gonna go after your Ana. Like you have to step up here. Again, see, Kitsune gets totally wasted. Right? Totally wasted. Really unfortunate. That's like the biggest error I've seen so far. It's just the Kitsune decision making, and it's not like egregiously bad, but it's low diamond bad. You know, it's like I understand why you did it, but it wasn't the right call to do it. You got to be trying to figure out how to get optimally like more value out of those ultimates, and make sure that they actually end up turning a fight that you wouldn't have won otherwise. Okay, they got Orisa. So you got shot from the backside. Oh yeah, that's rough. Second you get shot, you have turn. Be careful about jumping and instinct, especially at higher levels. I think jumping actually is gonna do more damage to you. So she gets shot here. You start healing, and then she gets a headshot of reading. I don't think you could realistically have saved her. Like if you were really sharp and you're like, oh, she might get tapped here. Like I think at maybe like GM, you might have thought to throw that because the aim for like enemies is really good, and your Ana's like clearly being a fool trying to like take this duel. You know, she should never take this duel. And she even tries to. Yeah. So she moves away from the card. But I think at GM probably you make that play. I think at your level, I think it's totally reasonable that you do not Suzu her right away. So once this has happened, everything's gone. This has gone awry. I would just think. I just want to farm ulti, right? Heal monkey, get damage where I can. Just farm ulti. Like this fight's already totally screwed. I do not want to stagger here, right? So it's gonna be a dire get out situation. I should get out. Yep, great. Monkey switching off. Curious what to. Orisa. All right, so we're in Orisa mirror. Reaper teleporting. I would probably teleport across right now. Right? I want to open this up. This is one of the worst chokes in the game, honestly. It's very common to see fights like pushes like stall out right here. I want to open this up, create as many angles, and also make my Reaper feel safe to go high ground, like knowing that he has enough support. Staying in here is not going to do anything. I don't want to play here. Right? You see how you've lost line of sight. If you're over here, no problem. You get this easy heals on your Orisa. But now your Orisa is going to potentially have to pop cooldowns early. Like, you too much attacking here. Just walk forwards, right? Just don't keep attack. Even if you hit a headshot, she just rewinds, you know? Like, step forwards. You also saw your Hanzo super low on your right? Your Hanzo's at half health right here. You can't not heal people. Non-diamond. That's bad. You gotta do that heal. It's really important, especially with Tracer around. And again, you're too far back. Honestly, like, Terra Surge, like, Orisa is not, ultimate is not that big a deal, right? Between Suzu and Swift Step, you can easily get out of it. So, pause a second. You should wait probably another second before you throw the Suzu, but I guess it actually works out alright. She popped it really early. rewind happens. So just trying to process everything that's kind of happening here. So the biggest thing here is that you're just not pocketing your Orisa enough. Like you see, like you throw the Suzu, you have to immediately go back to start healing your Orisa. Your Orisa's still critical, and you're just continuing to heal your Ana instead of the Orisa. And now you're attacking. You gotta be healing the Orisa. You pop this Kitsune. This is yet another Kitsune rush, which is like bizarre, right? They killed one. Like I don't know that this Kitsune feels good, but all right, your tank's already dead when you pop Kitsune. I think dead or nearly dead. Yeah, I think with the Hanzo dead and the Orisa this far away, like if I was here, I think I would consider popping Kitsune because I'd be reasonably confident I can save my Orisa. This far away, I think my Orisa's gonna die. You know, like you just can't keep her up. So that plus knowing the Tracer's still alive, I think this is a bad Kitsune. Which I mean, obviously replay we can tell, but at the moment you popped it, I'm like, this doesn't feel good to me. So, I forgot about the time. It is the last fight. So actually, I guess you should have popped this Kitsune because it doesn't matter. By the way, if you're a little better at farming ulti, you'd have Kitsune by now. Because honestly, Kitsune, like, right, like now, assuming you were not this far back as you usually are, but like right here, Kitsune, this would be a great Kitsune. This is like a game-winning Kitsune if you had it right now. But you're like a little slow here to farm it. Yeah, I mean, again, this is overtime, so I think this is the right call apart for Kitsune. Looking at the clock. Plus, without sound, it's hard for me to hear the overtime. Good duel. Yeah, just keep your Reaper alive here, and he wins the fight against the Orisa. There's no way Orisa will win this fight. And now you're just looking to push it as far as you can. There is a strategy where what do you leaves cart, and you hopefully get spawns back, and you can fight 5-on-5, but that is unlikely and quite a risky play. There's some situations where, so in this situation where you're trying to move it as far as you can, that would be relevant. But let's say hypothetically, like it was here and you had to move it all the way to the end. That's actually a situation where you should consider not moving the cart on a map that's not Junkertown. Junkertown's got weird because the final point you have this U so they can walk across. But if this is like a regular linear map like Numbani, I think you should consider not moving the cart and having only one of you stay on it to allow attackers to join up. Good hit. I would want to drop right now because it's really hard to hit headshots from above, and it moves you further away from the fight, which makes it harder for you to keep your tank up, right? Again, I think more healing into the tank makes an enormous difference here. I'm just going to watch it from your Orisa's perspective because my gut instinct here looking at your play is that you're just not healing your Orisa enough. Big hit. Right, so she's trying to wait. You see how she's not using Fortify, which is the right call here. She should be trying to avoid using Fortify as much as possible. But she's just not getting enough healing. Like, just the Ana healing her. And now she's got enough. Right, she's trying to stay alive. She should have pump spin there. It was good. Where are you now? You're still above. So yeah, right there. She gets scared, she pops. Now she pops forward away. Wow, she actually has excellent discipline. I think you're too far back. Once again, gotta heal your Ana. Keep healing Ana. As soon as I see the Orisa chasing my Ana, you just have to pocket your Ana here. I don't think you're winning this fight regardless, though. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot more you could have done differently. I think healing your Orisa a little more might have made a difference because it allows her to be a little more aggressive. I think she was too stingy with the cooldowns, especially spin. Like, she should not have taken that much damage. She should have gone for the more... Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot more you could have done there. Other than have Kitsune rush. But hey, maybe you wouldn't have won that fight without Kitsune rush, so... I think it's reasonable. I think the other Kitsune is clearly wrong. The last Kitsune was overtime, so right call to pop it. Go for the flanks. Get some misses. Running Doom. Yeah, definitely swift step there. Because I see the damage orb following him. I don't want to die to damage orb. Oh, you messed up. Oh, you messed up even more. And then you make it even worse by not only dying, but dying after your 2 DPS have been dead for several seconds. So this is just like mechanics, right? So you step. You see how you step to the left? There's no reason, right? You should have been staying here. So that would have helped you initially start healing the Hanzo, which would have resulted in him not being so low. Then, at this point, you should be looking to the left more to prevent the lock-on, right? You should not be sliding to the right if you're like, oh, I'm going to swift step. You're kind of like indecisive. You're like, oh, I'm going to heal him. No, I'm going to swift step. But if you just saw how low he was, recognized the angle, and then you'd already made a mistake of positioning to not be to the right, you could have swift stepped right first and then healed. And then, you know, your soldier gets blown up, and then you make, you know, I think you could tell that you made a bunch of mistakes here, which is going to cost you most of the first point. Nope, your team recovers, great. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with the level of gameplay I'm saying. Like, this feels like a... I know that you said this is Diamond 4, but this... I would believe you said this was high Diamond for sure. Good headshot. Force rewind. So, things get dicey here. So this is my perspective, is I don't want to be in the leading edge here. All I want to do is, well, first I guess I want to wait Doom ulti out. So I probably like stand here, like on the edge, and be like, is he going top or bottom? If he's going top, I drop off, right? If he's going bottom or swift step. If he's going bottom, then I just stay up top. But after this happens, I definitely don't expose myself this way. This is really weird. But Doom is clearly going to, I don't know, all the way over there, right? You can hear the sound going away from you. You should be walking forwards right now and maintaining like this this angle. You don't want to be exposing yourself to the cart. Like, it's just not your job right now. Like, this Cassidy is not a priority. Don't worry about him. Just worry about trying to keep your team alive. Because if you've been playing more centrally, you could have been over here to help save your Hanzo. You're very late to save the Hanzo. No! Why would you do this? You're like intentionally empowering his punch. Susie yourself. You cut that quite close. You honestly should have died. I think they just missed you. Stop attacking. What the heck? Okay, so you do Kitsune here. So the correct call would have been a Kitsune this way. Question is, would you have known that? I think the second you swift stepped here and you didn't see anything out this way, other than the tracer, I think I would have paused a second and then used Kitsune. No one's about to instantly die here. You know what I mean? Like, you're not like, oh man, I have a Kitsune before I die. That's not the problem. You definitely could have looked to the left and Kitsune to the left. Good job killing the anti-1. I would not do this too much because I recognize my Junker Queen's in the midst of the team. She's already lost a third of her health. Like, don't over focus on the tracer, right? Like, I'd throw 1 or 2 and then get to the left and then start healing the Junker Queen. Because if you look at it from the BAP perspective, your BAP already windowed here. Like, your BAP does not want to leave the window to go heal your Junker Queen. Also, if you go to the left of the outhouse, the tracer can't come in and attack you because the window itself will protect you. Because you come into it instantly obliterated by the Hanzo or Baptiste. So this area is in fact safe. I think you need to go to the left and start healing your Junker Queen. It is a mistake to waste your time trying to heal this tracer. So, Coalescence is kind of forcing you all in. I do not want to walk back in here, right? I actually want to stay out here with as much space as possible, even playing like right up here. I know this seems kind of crazy, but if we all get forced back, we lose regardless. You know what I mean? If we all get forced in here, this Coalescence just beaming us all in the face, and we have to walk out through a choke, like, it's all over. I'd rather take my chances out here, jiggle peek the Cassidy or whatever. The Baptiste can have empowered grenades to heal me while I'm out here. It's not impossible that you will stay alive out here. But if you walk back in, I think the fight's 100% lost. yeah, especially with Dragon, I think that you see, like, again, once they widen out this way, like, what the heck is your team gonna do? You know, like everybody gets forced back in. Cassidy gets a stand right here, and you know it's now an easy kill. If you're standing here, the Cassidy would have had to fight you normally, and he couldn't just walk in a straight line on you because you'd headshot him. I think you had to hold that space out there at the outhouse. Like, I don't think it's a good chance you'd win the fight, but I think there's, like, gives you, like, let's say a 25-30% chance of winning. I think as soon as you went outside, I'm like, I think you have like 0% chance of winning this. That's a mistake. Good headshot. Yep. Now you should be moving forwards. Again, like, instinct should be when I get picked, move forwards. Right? You should immediately be moving forwards right now, not backwards. Forwards, please. Again, it's like the 4th time you've let the Hanzo die this game. You know? If you just move forward like the way I said, then you would be able to save him consistently. So you're slow to kind of react to all the things here. Kill your Tracer, which is great. Right, really good headshot. Well, I should dodge out with it anyway. You should already recognize you're too far away to get hit by that. So I like walk here and I turn and start healing the ride. Again, pre-heal the ride, please. Like, you like see the Moira who's full health right now, and both of you are just staring at each other instead of healing your Ryan, who's like, wait, what the heck? You know, I think the ultimate tale of this game is it's going to be a bunch of little things, right? We've identified, number 1, letting your DPS die, often because you're too far back. Number 2, not putting enough healing into your tank, which sometimes results in dying, but sometimes just forces them backwards. And number 3, suboptimal Kitsunes. I think that's kind of the 3 biggest things that we've picked up so far, which makes sense. I mean, this is Diamond, so you're probably not going to have like, oh, like here's a massive mistake that will immediately drop, you know, increase 2 ranks. That's unlikely. You let your Hanzo die again? How did your Hanzo even come back so fast? Holy shit. Right? He's critical. You should have switched up right away. You see that pause, you start healing. I think you could have conceivably got there in time and switched up. And Suzu. And then you drop here, and then now you're dead. So you're really not going to get a chance at a second fight because of really unfortunate positioning. Definitely don't stand in front of this doorway. You know, like, I want to go in. I do not want to stand here. Like, this is a silly place for me to be standing. So you can eat this damage orb unnecessarily. You can just walk into the room. Yeah, just walk up. You know. So here is your attempt at a final fight here. Nice, good chatter. Probably winnable. Good Suzu. So when you did that peek, you saw the Ashe on high ground, I think. So when you come around this corner, you should be looking high ground right away to start pressuring her. Right? So like right there, it's quick, but I would see that for sure. I would see that the Ashe was on high ground. So the next time I come around this corner, I'm looking to peek this. I see that everyone's full health, right? Now I want to be damaging. I want to be getting that Ashe and forcing her off to clear high ground. Mercy, like, you can't do anything about that Mercy. So again, because you're not focusing on the Ashe, like, your movement is predictable, and that's why you're going to get shot really bad here. Watch. See, you're just walking forwards, which is why you get hit. If you're just AD strafing, I think you would have been fine. Another Kitsune, which is like, why? Also, you could have easily died while doing this Kitsune. Also, it's going to, I think, go into the cart and not go anywhere. Yeah. This Kitsune, actually, it's just enough because of the angle that it actually goes through. So, depending on the angle, if it fully hits the cart, it doesn't go past it. But in this case, you are going to get the Kitsune to go past. It's a little wonky. So, this is a panic Suzu. The magnetic grenade clearly hasn't stuck anybody. You get nervous and you Suzu them anyway. Big waste of Suzu. And now you don't have Suzu to save your Hanzo. I feel really bad for your Hanzo this game. I mean, I don't think you played like really poorly or anything, but like your Hanzo is repeatedly killed in situations where he is savable. Right? If you hadn't Suzu, you could have reacted and then throw him Suzu and save him. But things going worse, like the second this Hanzo dies, I immediately turn out and be like, okay, Like you see, you're like a little slow. Not that it actually was gonna make a difference. So yeah, I mean a bunch of little optimizations that we're looking for here, right? Some bigger. I mean that Suzu I think is especially bad. Right? I think the Kitsune also ends up not being I think very low value. I think I also would have considered right here Suzuing to the Hanzo to get out. Again, like you really need to get out of these tight chokes and create space. If you're out here, you could have attacked the Mercy. Right, you would have 100% killed her. Right, look how low she is. One body shot would have killed her here. You could have given like a nice long Kitsune. You could have killed the Doom right here. Like, there's a lot that would have changed if you've been able to get a little more space. I think you're over prioritizing your survival versus what is actually optimally needed to win the fight. I do not agree with going Baptiste here. I think you're going to get absolutely wrecked by the hit scans and the Doom. Baptiste is really good against brawl lineups, right? People who are going to stay at a distance where you can just do shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, and then get maximum value. People who are like flying all around you and people who can kill you very quickly from distance are not people you want to be fighting against this Baptiste. Like, what's your plan here? Like, now you throw lamp, I guess you get the kill. Your Rhine happens to be high. I don't even know how your Rhine got the high ground. How did your Rhine get up here? What the heck? Your Rhine knows some like nuts rollouts. Yo, he bothered to climb up here and then walks across this way. It's really funny. I've never seen a Rhine who's as good as taking high ground as your Rhine is. You know, like your problem is not really like, oh, people are getting close to me, like I want to get good at brawling, or we need to crank damage out. Your problem is just kind of not being at the right place, right time, and not being able to take space. And I don't think Baptiste is necessarily going to help you solve that problem. So I think you're in and just blowing up here. Yeah, once again, another 2-tap. Yeah, good reaction to Sticky. Honestly, for the most part, I don't think your team played that poorly either. Like I know you were saying like you're alluding to like, oh, I see my enemy's mistakes. I don't feel like anyone in your team like played like super poorly. I mean, I would give just a lot of respect to the opposing team. Like they're definitely hitting a lot of shots, especially their Kaz's hitting a lot of like 2-tap kills. I think their tank's playing well, the supports are doing well. Yeah. So this is a great example where with Baptiste, you should be playing on your Rhine, right? You're a brawl support hero. You should be playing up here because if you're playing up here, you instantly heal 100 plus 50. And your Rhine lives. But because you want to play at a distance, now what do? Like you just can't save your Rhine. You know? And to be fair, it's like I understand like you don't want to play there because it's suicidal, but that's the problem with playing Baptiste in this situation. I think I think Brig would have been very reasonable here to kind of like help shut down the Doom. Also keeps you safe from hit scans. It gives you that burst healing. Again, a lot of the kills we've seen are burst deaths. So Brig's burst healing would be very, very helpful in this situation. I think Kiriko would still have been fine. Moira would have been okay. Mercy would have been really, really good, right? Especially with all the verticality of this map. I know they have a double hit scan, but I think Mercy is still very good if you were good at Mercy. Lucio's always good with Rhine. I think this is just a really bad point for Rhine in general, but I think Lucio would have super good here. Now think about it. You could have forced them off high ground. You could have gotten your Rhine into their hit scans quickly. You could have peeled the Doomfist. So I think, yeah, I think Lucio here probably would have been the most optimal of choices. I want to go back and analyze this window. So your Rhine is dead. I just don't think that this window's going to do anything. It's actually a pretty good window because you get the stare too. I think that was intentional. But like they can't actually stop the Doom from killing them. And I think you just need to read that and be like, I should have saved this ultimate. And that's like a consistent pattern of like, I understand why you popped your ultimate, but it actually was not really a good time. And I think that's probably one of the biggest distinguishing factors between where you are right now and Diamond and High Diamond. You miss 2 grenades there on your Mercy. That one I guess you hit. That you miss. And that you haven't hit, yeah. But not backing up sooner results in you all getting staggered. Like, you should have just freaking booked it and left. Like, way up there, you know? You should have been running. I guess you kind of are running, but, like, I would have been in the Mercy. Like, you're not going to be able to save the Mercy. Yeah. You really should have died, like, sooner when your line died. So now you're not going to get a real contest because now both supports are dead, but your team is out there. Mercy's gotten out there at least. Oh, I don't know about this lamp. I understand that you're like, oh shoot, I don't want to lose here, but the throw is good, but he does not in fact actually need it. I would just rely that it would have been okay. Video support actually did go. That regen burst is not going to do anything. Is it? I guess it's for you. You're at 125. I take a chance here and try to save that regen burst because regen burst has a crazy long cooldown, 15 seconds. I don't know why you're continuing jumping. This is another good example where you're just too far back. Also, the Ashe is killable right now. Again, like when I play Baptiste, I want to be playing right here. I feel great, right? Shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal. I'm gonna absolutely murder anybody who's next to me. You know, like all you're doing is just like you might as well play Ana right now because you're exclusively healing, and Ana's single target healing is much better and more reliable. Plus, you have the extra utility that Ana brings. You have to recognize as Baptiste, like damage is a huge part of your kit. Like it's a non-optional part of your kit in a way that it's even more important than it is on Kiriko. You know, like you have to deal damage. You do 75 damage up close without headshots. 150 if you land headshots. So, yeah, you're just not giving nearly enough value on Baptiste. I think going Baptiste here is throwing. You also don't look as comfortable on. Yeah, I see you even try to grenade yourself. Like it's very clear you're not comfortable on Baptiste, and that's gonna be the game. Okay, so like I said, 3 biggest things. Number 1, being too far away from your team / like slow to react, and specifically letting DPS die. Like you saw your Hanzo die over and over and over again, and it's not always the exact same reason, but it's always like some sort of thing where it's like you could have saved him. You know, that happens like pretty regularly. Is that there's like 5 or 6 deaths from the Hanzo where we're like, yeah, you could have saved him. So just putting yourself in a better position to react to that stuff is important. Number 1. Number 2, I don't know if I really want to focus on the healing thing because it's not as big a deal in most of the game. It's just some of the game, like your healing is not that great. I don't know if it's necessarily a big item. So for number 2, let's go with the ultimate. I think ultimate very clearly suboptimal ultimates. All right. Again, understand why you popped it. Not actually good value though. There's a lot about the context and reading the situation to help understand why you shouldn't have done that. Number 3, not healing your tank. I think that's fair, right? Not healing your tank enough on a pretty consistent basis and just kind of like following your tank's lead. Just understanding like your team fight like lives or dies by your tank. So doing more, playing more aggressively to keep your tank alive and giving your tank more resources is important. And I'd focus on that. And number 4, I think your Baptiste play overall just didn't make any sense, and I think you threw away any chance you had at winning by playing Baptiste. Because I do think it was winnable here, but I don't think Baptiste was the call. Okay, hopefully this is helpful.